Alright, I guess. Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another movie review. I'm GorTheMovieGod, hello, and I just got done watching this movie, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. I think that's the title. I don't care. This is the second movie in a trilogy of Godzilla anime movies from Japan, of course, which right there, that should be three things that work extremely well together, right? Godzilla, anime, and Japan. Bam! All three of those things. That should be a perfect mixture. And hell, when I heard this was coming out, this trilogy of Godzilla movies, I was very excited because I mean, Japan, they know how to do Godzilla. It's anime. I like anime. And it's a trilogy that makes me think, oh, maybe they have a good idea. Like they announced before they even start making it, I think it was going to be a trilogy. So I thought, oh, they have a good idea on what they're going to do. So they have the story in mind. It's going to be really interesting and fun and cheesy. And it's going to be a campy ride. It's going to be filled with great action and maybe some really fun characters. It's an anime. Anime has a lot of fun characters. So I was expecting at least a good time. I was expecting amazing movie, but I was expecting, a good time. And that first movie that came out earlier this year was the most boring piece of shit I've seen all year. Not saying it was worse than some movies like Truth or Dare or the Hellraiser movie that came out or whatever, but it is easily the most boring fucking movie I've seen all year long. Until today. Oh boy, man, this trilogy is knocking it out of the park. Let me just tell you right here. This movie is the sequel, of course, like I said, to the original, which came out back in January. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember a fucking diddly dick about that first movie. I don't remember anything besides they want to kill Godzilla because Godzilla bad. They want to go beat up Godzilla because they took Earth from the humans. And all these humans, by the way, are the most likable characters ever. They all have the most stock personalities and generic repetitive dialogue you ever heard in your goddamn life. They're so likable. Oh, we're supposed to care for them because every 14 seconds they talk about how Godzilla took Earth from us. They took Earth from... It's been 20,000 years. He took Earth from us, even though we weren't even fucking alive back when he took Earth from us. I want Earth. I'm the generic Japanese main character from an anime. I got a gruff voice and I'm really upset about something. I want to go fight Godzilla. Fuck you. Alright, so the first one I didn't like it. So now we have the second one. And like I said, it hasn't improved at all. This one has, I will say, a better ending. Because the first movie had a really boring first hour and 10 minutes. And then an okay conclusion where we actually got to fight Godzilla and we actually got to see Godzilla. And Godzilla looked kind of cool. He wasn't great. I mean, by the way, this is a 3D animated movie. It's not a 2D anime. It's a 3D anime. So if you don't like the 3D stuff, you ain't gonna like this. Because let me tell you, some of the animations are fucking shitty. Oh man, they're real bad. And saying the lip syncing. Oh, for the English dub, damn. And the English dub is bad too, but the lip syncing is horrible. So there's a lot of bad stuff going on here technically. Just the way everything looks at times is really bad. But Godzilla himself looked cool. So I was like, all right, they at least got Godzilla kind of right. He is a menacing force. And then fight at the end. Here, same thing happens. They all fight Godzilla at the end. Big fucking surprise. If you come in here saying, oh, spoilers, get fucked. Like, you weren't expecting them to fight Godzilla in this movie. But I won't say how they do it, obviously. I ain't gonna spoil that. But obviously, I'm sorry, I'm really upset because I just watched this fucking movie. I was so bored. I wish I recorded my reaction because I was just getting more and more pissed. Just telling them to fucking keep going and wrap this movie up, but they had to keep talking. All these characters that I fucking hate, every single one of them. I'm sorry, this movie just really pissed me off. It really did. And I cannot wait for the third movie. Oh, that's going to be just as fucking good. I'm sure the conclusion won't be disappointingly horrible. Alright, so I actually wrote down notes for this movie because I'm already forgetting shit in my brain because it's that kind of movie. So I actually wrote shit down, and first thing I wrote, not the first thing, but the first thing that I felt was of note that I wrote down is this right on the side of my thing. It just says, here, this might be the thumbnail. There you go. That's the thumbnail. no fucking Godzilla. You don't see Godzilla in this movie almost at all until the last 20 minutes. And even when you do, most of the time it's just shots of his face going, huh, or reacting to something. And he does a couple of cool things. He uses atomic breath a couple times. He roars a couple times. And there's a couple really good shots of him just like standing inside like giant explosions or something like that. So explosions going on surrounding him and stuff. And it's a cool shot. There's a couple of cool shots with Godzilla. But the movie's called Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. It's not called City on the Edge of Battle. Also, there's Godzilla. He's there. You know, it's called Godzilla. Okay? And for the people out there that were saying the 2014 Godzilla, the American one, barely had Godzilla, shit. At least when he showed up, he did stuff. Here, like I said, most of the time, he's doing fucking nothing. Most of the time, he's not even on screen. He doesn't really show up until about an hour and like 15 minutes into this motherfucker. And when he shows up, he's just getting his ass kicked. I'll just tell you right here. Yeah, but he's just getting exploded and boom, boom, boom. And you just see multiple explosions and Godzilla going, fuck, I'm getting my ass beat. So that's pretty much all you see of Godzilla. Here's all the negatives. Here, I'll just read them out because I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. I'm already fucking tired. First of all, I also wrote right here, so boring. Can you read that right there? So boring. You know why I wrote that? You would never guess why. Because guess what? The movie is fucking boring. It is the most tedious movie I've seen since the first Godzilla movie earlier this year. Oh man, this makes me really excited for that Godzilla movie next year. I hope they don't fuck that up. Oh, please. Oh God. Okay, so I talked about the characters. I don't like the characters. You have the main character who's like the generic Japanese anime character. He's trying to get revenge on Godzilla because Godzilla took Earth from him. He's the only one that really expresses this throughout the entire runtime of this and the last movie. I feel like everybody wants to go back to Earth and defeat Godzilla, but this is the only character that seems like he's really angry about it. Like, I really want to kill Godzilla. He's like the only one, which I'm just like, really, you're the only one on this entire, this giant spaceship of people that immigrated from Earth to the spaceship that really wants to do this. Also, there's a whole alien race thing. I'm not even going to fucking get into it because it doesn't matter. Point is that these characters are stock. The main character is not even a character. There's repetitive dialogue where people just say things that are happening on screen. Like, something just happens and then they have to narrate like, oh, that just happened. Or like characters say the same thing over and over again. There's dialogue in this that I couldn't stand because they kept repeating it. Like how many times I've heard nanometal? I heard nanometal in this movie more times than I could fucking count. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't counting it because I couldn't give a shit less about this. But nanometal, and there's dialogue like MechaGodzilla City. You ever want to see MechaGodzilla? Well, sorry, you don't see him in this. What you see instead is MechaGodzilla City. And they say MechaGodzilla City at least a couple dozen times in this movie. And it never stopped making me go, oh, fuck. The first time I heard it, it made me chuckle. I'm like, that's stupid. MechaGodzilla City? How about this? Better yet, how about take the city part out and just MechaGodzilla? That would have been cool. Because in the first movie, they talk about MechaGodzilla. They never use them. And here, they're like, we need to use MechaGodzilla. I'm like, okay, cool. MechaGodzilla versus Godzilla? That would be dope. Nope, that's not what happens. This whole thing is about a city that can, like, trap Godzilla. And it's made out of the remnants of an old MechaGodzilla. Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see MechaGodzilla. We want to see giant monsters fight other giant monsters. That's what made Godzilla so cool. I know the original movie wasn't about that, but later movies, obviously. Pretty much every other movie about Godzilla is awesome because Godzilla fights another monster. And here we don't get that. We get him trying to swat away, like, Mobile Suit Gundam looking fucking things. Like, ooh, and we just see the same shot of, like, someone inside one of the Gundams shooting a rocket at Godzilla, and Godzilla going, ow, my face, fuck. I wish he said that, actually. That would have been more entertaining. So we just keep getting the same thing. So the action is just completely unexciting. Like, the first hour and, like, 10 minutes of this before they even fight Godzilla, most of the time they're going around, like, in the forest or inside the city. And whenever there's action, it's unexciting because they're just picking up guns and going, fire! And then they start firing at the monsters. Which, I'll say one positive is that some of the monsters, including Godzilla himself, the designs, not the animations or even the modeling, but the designs themselves look pretty cool. Godzilla looks really awesome. He looks menacing. There's close-ups of his face that makes him look very monstrous. Even though he has like these sad eyes, which I don't know what's going on there, because his face is really grotesque, and then you see his eyes, and he looks like a sad puppy dog at times. I was like, oh, poor little Godzilla. Poor little guy. Some of the music is really good in it, also, I should say. Some of it sounds very Godzilla, which I'll give that credit. And some of the 2D stuff in this movie, like you'll see in the background, like you can tell like the mountains or some of the foliage, some of the trees, whatever. That's definitely 2D, and that stuff looked good. What else? I think that's all the positives. So let me go back to the negatives. I wanted to be positive for a second. Let me go back. 3D animation, like I said, is really choppy, really bad. It's just really, really, really under... I don't know. What's the word? Not under. Let me go back. I'm rewinding. The 3D animation is really, really poor. It is very much that typical 3D animation we see nowadays from like the Berserk animated cartoon that came out recently and stuff like that, where it's really cheesy looking at times, and not cheesy in a good way, just cheesy, like it just looks like it would cost nothing to make this, because the mocapping or whatever they do, because it looks like mocap a lot of times, it just seems like unrealistic and stuff. And it's Godzilla, I guess, it's also anime, but it just doesn't seem right. And the main problem with this movie is that the movie just doesn't stop what it's talking. The characters suck, okay, but that's fine. There's a lot of Godzilla movies out there where the characters suck. I will say a lot of the characters in the 2014 one aren't good, I will admit that. But at least we don't get to spend a ton of time just watching them talk. You know what I mean? In that 2014 one, you don't really get that. And even some of the older ones, when you do get that, you also get other things happening. Here, it is straight up, at times, endless talking between characters you don't give a flying shit about. Characters you don't know anything about besides they want to get revenge, or they like this character, or they want to go get this and stuff. You know the basic bullshit amount of stuff about some of these characters. And it's so bad. It really is. It really doesn't help that the voice acting in here is very uneven. And when I mean uneven, I'm not saying some of it's good and some of it's bad. I really mean like some of it's acceptable and a lot of it is really bad. Like, it's very uneven, I guess you could say. Actually, no, I guess you would say it's closer to just bad than uneven. Like, so it's like a 4 out of 10. It's below average. Some of the voice acting is really bad. Some of the dialogue, just some of the things people say. There's one line right in the beginning of the movie where a native of Earth, after it's been 20,000 years, so there's natives there now, and they're all indigenous and stuff. So one of them shoots an arrow into a ship, and it pierces the metal, and one character goes, "That's armor piercing." Huh. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this voice actor is giving me cancer. There's even a point where a character talks to another character, and they say, "That's poison." And the other character goes, "Poison?" And then the other character goes, "Poison. Huh." Jesus Christ. I've already said, like, they say MechaGodzilla City about 4 million times, nanometal. They talk, it's just all repetitive stuff. It feels very, very slapped together. It's just like they want to come up with this whole thing about, like, the native people that live on Earth now after 20,000 years. And they all have, like, a spiritual aspect to it. And I think they worship Godzilla as an actual god or whatever. And then you have these other characters that want to make humans into nano machine humans or whatever. I'm just like, what the? I just want to see Godzilla. What is this? What the fuck? Like I said, I know other Godzilla movies have had weird shit like aliens and stuff like that. I get it. Jet Jaguar, but that stuff is fun. It's kooky. This takes itself so fucking seriously, you can't have fun with it. No character is there for goofy entertainment. Not a single one. All of them, they don't even have a character. Here, This is what the character of all these characters are. They all have voices. So a character that talks like this, that one's like maybe a stern character. Then you have a character that's like this. Oh, that's like the wimpy kind of guy. So they're all not even characters. They don't have characteristics or personalities. They have voices that you can determine just by the way they sound that they're that kind of character. You know what I mean? Like the wimpy guy has a wimpy voice. He's wimpy because he has a wimpy voice. The main character is the main character. He has the stern, kind of a stern voice. He's like, or no, he has like that kind of whiny voice where he's just like, "I need to kill Godzilla." He has that kind of voice. But And the point is that the characters are so bland that you could tell immediately when they say the first word, how they say it. You could tell what they're all about. There's nobody in this that's likable. Not a single one. I can't think of one character in here, besides Godzilla, I guess, that I liked. I only like Godzilla because whenever he showed up, he would destroy some shit. In the first movie, at least. In here, not so much. Like I said, he gets his ass beat a lot. There's one shot of him using his atomic breath that was really awesome, and the sound design was really good. That's another positive. The action is unexciting. Native characters are very generic. Whenever they show the native characters, they're doing, their typical native stuff where they're all huddled together, chanting stuff, and it's typical shit. The fucking pace is a snail trail of a fucking pace. Let me just tell you, it's so slow. God, the animation's not very good. Stock characters, endless talking, just like this video right here. It's just non-stop talking over and over again, talking about how Godzilla, we need to kill Godzilla, we need to come up with a plan to kill Godzilla. Godzilla is coming, Godzilla is here, Godzilla's destroying us, please help us from Godzilla, 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 Godzilla. They say Godzilla a lot, so I guess the name of this movie isn't really too much of like misleading, because they say Godzilla at least 4 million times in this fucking movie, but they never make us fear Godzilla. The first one, I would say there's times where he was menacing. But if you remember how that movie ended, this Godzilla isn't exactly the same Godzilla we saw in the first movie. So here, we don't really know this Godzilla. We've only seen him be big, and that's it. We saw him do something a little bit at the end of that last movie. But in here, you don't really see him do much. He stands around the first hour and 10 minutes. You see him a couple of shots, like 10-second shots of him just standing there. And then at the end, he wakes up and goes and attacks people. And then he gets his ass beat. And then he does one cool thing, like I said, with the atomic breath. It's just a bad movie. It's just bad. It is. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear any bullshit too about like, oh, that fucking 2014 movie was so boring and stuff. And hearing those people also say this movie was good. I don't think anybody's saying this movie is good though. Like most people are saying it's bad. Reviews have been bad. IMDb is like a 5 or some shit. Nobody likes this. I don't. Hopefully the third one, if the third one redeems itself, because the ending of this movie, like I said, is actually a little bit better than the first one. It's actually a little bit more exciting, but you don't care about the characters, and when there's like plot reveals or like twists and stuff, you're just like, I don't give a fuck. But there's some decent action, some decent visuals. That's the only reason why I would say it's better. But the ending is still like a 5 out of 10. Everything else is like a 2 or a 3. It's so boring. I can't emphasize it enough. It is one of the most boring fucking things I've seen all year. And I like anime. I like melodrama in my anime. Just not in this one because they don't do it right. They don't make it cheesy enough for me to like it. They don't give me any characters to latch onto. And I mean, I'm okay if there was no characters, as long as we got to see a lot of Godzilla. What they should have done is just make one 90-minute movie out of these 3 movies they're making and just focus on Godzilla. Because all the Godzilla stuff is decent. It's okay. So they could have made one okay anime movie, but I guess they're just going to make 3 terrible ones. We'll see. Maybe the third one will redeem it. I doubt it. So, especially the way this one ends and destroys any hope of like a MechaGodzilla versus Godzilla fight. I'll just tell you right here, it seems like that ain't going to happen. Who knows? Maybe they'll retcon it and they'll make it happen, but 2 movies, I wanted to see that, and this movie pretty much says, nah, it ain't happening, but I just want to warn people, if you're watching this, it's been out for a couple weeks, so if you really wanted to see it, you could have saw it by now. It's on Netflix, so there's almost no excuse. But if you were just waiting for this movie to come out and just to see MechaGodzilla fight Godzilla, you ain't getting that. Sorry. It's bad. So if I had to give it a score from a 0 to a 40, that's my ranking system, as you can see from up here. Gotta give it I give it a 12 out of 40. I'm not even kidding. I really didn't like it that much. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll give it a 14 out of 40 because I'm thinking more about the ending. It's not that bad. And the beginning isn't horrible. At first, I thought it was going to be all about like the main character's relationship with the indigenous people. And not that I really wanted that, but I thought that might be a little bit more interesting than just, what it actually ended up being, which is a bunch of people talking inside rooms about how they're going to fight Godzilla. But the beginning made me hope like, oh, there might be a little bit something to this. Maybe we'll get to know the characters more. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. And at this point, I don't want to know anything more about the characters. I don't give a flying shit. The movie even ends on like a dramatic note where you're supposed to give a shit. And I'm like, I don't even know who this fucking character is. Besides, like, fuck it. And I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I just don't care. I don't care. If you liked it, that's fine. Again, I thought it was a piece of shit. So that's my fucking opinion. Oh, there you go. It's bad. I didn't like it. Bye.